And welcome back, everyone, to another wonderful night of GG Leagues here. We're bringing you a match from the Illinois B Division. Over on the blue side, we have SUNY Plattsburgh versus University Lab High School over on the red. My name is Mercenary. Joining me today will be DJ, and we've been fanboying over the Spirit Blossom event. Don't mind us. We're having fun.
It is really fun. It's an exciting day for League of Legends. It's an exciting day for GG Leagues here tonight with the game. Spirit Blossom is out. Lilia is out. Yon will be out soon. The event's been advertised super well. We are hyped about it. We are hyped about this game, and we can see bans coming in here from both of the teams. Pretty meta, actually, coming in outside of this Rise and the Yorick. Okay, I say meta, and then I see Rise and Yorick. Never mind.
Eyes definitely is there. Morgana is also a solid pick, especially in this tier. The Yorick, I feel like, is a comfort ban. You don't really see him in any sort of league of pro play at all, but he's an amazing split pusher for top lane, so I guess they don't want that around. We're gonna have the first pick here with the Caitlyn, who actually just got buffed recently, doing a whole hell of a lot more damage. It might be by 3 points, but oh man, that she also gets a bit of a speed boost as well, but that's all she needs to be even better and more of a lane bully in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of power put back into this Caitlyn over the recent patches. You saw a lot of indirect indirect buffs for Caitlyn as AD carries around her. You know, the Varus, Poke Varus, Felios, Ezreal all have been getting nerfed here. So Caitlyn been rising in priority even without these buffs, and these buffs really kind of pushing her towards the edge there. She is that oppressive laner we all know, hate, and love from solo queue. But I will say her normal partner in Morgana already banned out, so we'll see what she is paired with as the Ashe Thresh there come into count to play into this Caitlyn, and Ashe, well-known pick into this Caitlyn, can pretty much match her for range in the laning phase and has the extended range on that W poke throughout the match.
Yeah, this bot lane is known as the deadly duo. Ashe and Thresh is absolutely terrifying. One slows, while one also chews them out. We had a bit of a flash of a Lulu there, but it's going to be a Cho'Gath, a very interesting pick. Not one we see very often. He's going to be dropped up in the top lane most likely. I wonder if this Thresh will be the Spirit Blossom skin, because that will make me oh so happy to see it in a GG Leagues match for the first night here.
No kidding. We'll see if someone's on top of their stuff so far.
Oh, yeah. And we have the Trundle pick for Plattsburgh as well. Running out the first round here, most likely going to the jungle. Trundle did get some nerfs, but honestly, it hasn't really stopped him in any form of play. He's still extremely strong. But going into this Cho'Gath is going to be the Camille. Honestly, a solid pick in the Cho'Gath, especially being able to bounce around and whatnot. But the silence may catch this Camille off guard in the end. We'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah, absolutely could. Is interesting to see the Camille. I doubt this is jungle Camille anymore. So interesting to see this top laner picked when the jungler picked from Suny Plattsburgh does give a free counter pick over to Suny Plattsburgh here in round 2. As we see the Xerath band out here, that I'm assuming has to be a respect band to someone on the side of Suny Plattsburgh there.
Oh, definitely. And we have the Azir ban as well. Azir has always been a bit of a mixed case. He's been good, he's been bad, and he's been mixed in between. The Lulu ban coming out here from Uni, which they saw the flash earlier, and they do not want that to happen. Lulu could definitely keep that Caitlyn line for a lot longer, and especially with a Cho'Gath on the team, making him twice as massive and with even more health than he already is going to get late into the game here. 10 seconds left, and it's going to be the Graves ban, a solid jungle ban there. Graves is a very strong jungler nonetheless, but it looks like Uni's not even going for that. They're going for the team fighter Zac here in the jungle.
Yeah, Zac pick. They do see the Trundle. It's a little bit of an interesting pick into the Trundle. He must feel comfortable in that matchup. Trundle definitely not as oppressive as some other early game junglers. Olaf, Elise being some that come to mind, but will definitely still be stronger than Zac, so does have potential to run some invades there, which you would expect some bot lane priority as a Soraka locked in, and you would definitely expect bot lane priority from this Caitlyn Soraka, despite being against this Ashe Thresh. They should be able to, pass level 2, push this lane into them. Do have double ranged poke there. Thresh, sort of a semi-ranged champion, does have that ranged auto attack, but nothing else ranged outside of the hook. So should have a little bit of pressure there to help this Trundle potentially disrupt Zac's pathing.
Yeah, and the Corky pick is going to be coming out as well. Honestly, a solid pick nonetheless, but he does have a few counters here and there. The Soraka pick, for those who don't know, Soraka is my main, so I'm very excited to see this one come up here. But Soraka's definitely going to have to play back. One hook from that Thresh, and she's pretty much good as gone. That Ash damage in slow will just absolutely chew her alive, so she's going to play back. But going into the Corki here is going to be the Victor. Honestly, an interesting fighting mid lane happening here between these two teams. Who do you think you're going to give the edge to here?
It's a little tricky. I think both have some weaknesses and some strengths. It's a little tough for me to call, actually, Mercenary. I think normally I have an opinion on some of these drafts, but I can see both of these drafts succeeding. Ash, Thresh, Camille definitely want to sort of combine for some picks here, and Zach, sorry, as well. Very capable picks and also pretty capable team fighters. Zach, very strong in team fights. Camille can pick off an individual target, and that Victor will dish out damage. So both Victor and Corky will scale. Caitlyn herself will scale, but there's a lot of equality here on this draft. I think it's going to come down to a lot of performance. And in particular, I think the big X factor here will be how this Camille is utilized. Camille, a champion that does need to get kills, that does need to have priority in games to feel strong, to be able to operate properly in split push and team fights. And if she's operated well, I think this could definitely go both ways. If operated poorly, I think she could get run over by this Cho'Gath.
Sounds like an interesting matchup nonetheless. Now, a note to make for the chat right now. Currently in Illinois Division B, Suny Plattsburgh is tied for first right now at 5-1. So Laboratory High School is going to have to knock them down a notch to actually bring themselves back up to second place here, and Suny knocking as well, because a lot of the league right now is completely hollowed out. A lot of people are in ties right now as the league is still underway. But it's a very interesting time this year. I don't think either of these teams are slouches. Both of them have only one loss under their belt with some solid wins as well. And we've seen both these teams fight here on GGLeagues on the stream, go up against each other. And again, it's really just down to mechanics, how they handle these characters and how well they will play into each other. But yeah, definitely an exciting match.
Mercenary, you made me make my pick. What are you thinking tonight?
What am I thinking tonight? Well, my hope, as a fanboy, my hope stands in Soraka. I really want to see her play well for my main. But overall here, I actually will still give that edge over to Suny just a bit. Namely, the way they do have that late game secure with the Cho'Gath just being an absolute wall of a character later on. And overall, they have some good rotation nonetheless, but also the team fighting edge will go over to the side of Unilab here. We have the Camille along with the ulti, Zach ulti as well. Victor with his lockdown and Ash with the arrow as well. They have a lot of pick potential and they have a lot of team fight potential as well. So again, it really comes down to mechanics and how these two teams play, but a lot of this focus will be namely on this top lane, actually. We want to see how the Camille can handle the Cho'Gath. If she can hold back Cho'Gath from getting fed early on, I think Uni might have this in the bag. But if Cho'Gath can chew her out, then it may not work in the end. And with 10 seconds left here, we're going to go right into this matchup here for the University for Illinois Division B matchup. We'll see you guys in just a couple minutes here. back, GG Leagues fans, to this Illinois B Division match. Over on the blue side, we have Suny Plattsburgh, and over on the red side, we have University Lab High School. My name is Mercenary, and joining me once again is going to be DJ. And as we were talking about before, some interesting runes going in the top lane, especially for that Camille fighter up there.
Yeah, Zalo there on the Camille taking Grasp of the Undying, and I actually like this rune choice. Normally you will see Camille's usually up for Conquer. If not Conquer, typically press the attack to try to get some favorable trades in laning phase. But I do like this Grasp because I think Zalo's looking at these team fights. If you're looking at a team fight as this Camille, you want to either jump onto Corki or Caitlyn and absolutely blow them up before Soraka can heal them too much, hopefully through a cooldown. And also, if you're looking at side lane, really nobody can match this Camille if she gets strong. The only person maybe could be Wilhelm's on the Corki, but if this Camille does get a couple kills and get ahead, really no need for the Conqueror at all. She'll pretty much blow up anyone in that side lane regardless. Cho'Gath can scale health, but her Q, if she's ahead, will absolutely obliterate him, and her mobility will be way too much for his Qs to handle. So do not mind the health stacking there on this Grasp rune.
Definitely, indeed. And we have Turtles going for the classic jungle start that a lot of people have been going recently, just placing down a ward and grabbing the sweeper right after. But a 5-point start, no crazy fights happening in the end. Camille placing down a ward up top for some extra security in case Zach decides to dive up there. Probably with the confusion of the... Actually, not for Zach. Sorry about that. In case the Trundle decides to come up there again with the confusion of the runes. But namely, we're getting in this fight, and Camille pushing her aggression right now on top of this Cho'Gath, who level 1 is not exactly that strong, especially against a Camille. It's very, very scary nonetheless, as we're hanging on to this top lane right now. As other lanes are just kind of holding out pretty strong right now. And yeah, level 2 is already being met in mid lane, and so I guess we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I think both of them happy. They do have a little bit of sustain on each kit there in top lane, so kind of happy to trade. Although, like you mentioned, I do think Camille definitely more of a threat here in the early levels. She does get this W down. One thing to note here, again, another interesting rune choice actually is the PTA on the Trundle. This one's taken for damage, but one of Trundle's biggest weaknesses in general is that he is a melee champion. And once his pillar's thrown down, doesn't really have a way to close the distance on a lot of characters. So normally you see Phase Rush actually taken on Trundles. They can run down their opponents, but Turtles Lay Eggs going for more of the damage approach here. So we'll see if that one pays off for him as this game progresses.
Yeah, as we keep hanging on to this top lane here. Again, it is really important to see if this Camille can hold down this Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath gets fed. It's a terror of a wall going through. But as I'm going to take a peek down here in bot lane, we do have the bot lane from Uni going up there to try to secure on top of that scuttle. No one's nearby, and so Zach will have full reign to grab that. As we're back as well, Ash and Thresh are definitely pushing that aggression twofold here. But they're keeping even in farm nonetheless. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Cho'Gath is actually holding the farm advantage over Camille, as she's going to be dancing back and forth, trying to look for any possible damage here. Actually, as we have Trundle waiting in the side bush, we might see a fight break out up top.
Yeah, she's in a good spot to not be ganked. I have noticed she's been a little bit interesting on the trade patterns here, not really willing to dive into the Cho'Gath with her E, probably afraid of being queued, but when you do opt out of that E, you are losing out on your shield passive there, which is a big part of Camille's trading in the early game. So taking damage as opposed to her shield taking damage, and we'll hit with another Q here.
Yeah, taking solid damage, landing that W. But meanwhile, mid lane, Turtles Lay Eggs diving in on top of that Victor, but Victor's gonna get with the flash. Solid enough there. But meanwhile, as they do know that Trundle's just kind of holding on to mid lane here, Zach's gonna be looking for that bottom scuttle and maybe looking towards bottom lane, as actually Trundle's rounding down there. So you might see them fight once again. Never mind, he's going back to mid. He's trying to push that advantage for Wilhelm's in the mid lane against Ventrilogo's Victor here. I don't know what he's doing. He's kind of wasting time, but again, he is even in farm, so he has nothing really to worry about right now.
Yeah, I think actually an okay play there from Turtles Legs. I think the main thing he's doing there is pushing the wave in. Actually really nicely done by Ventrilogo, despite losing his flash there on a good gank. does manage to get the wave into an advantageous position. I think Turtle's Legs knows that, with the Zac probably finishing the clear at a similar time as him or a little bit later. Hold on here.
Bit of a flash from up top there as Camille got hit by that E damage. Did not want to stay around for that as well.
Barely stay alive. Yeah, sorry. As I was mentioning, I think, sorry, yeah, Turtle's Legs, realizing that the Zac could be around mid lane, and if that wave is held by Ventrilogo just outside his turret, does leave the Corki at risk of getting ganked by the Zac. So I think doing a nice job actually helping his mid laner push that in and be able to reset freely.
Definitely indeed. And as we're looking around right now, both TPs are getting blown top, but Cho'Gath does have the advantage of the flash still up and ready. Silence going to land on top of Camille. She's stepping back in with the E, doing some solid damage, but is going to dodge the Q, lands the ulti as well. Solid damage on top of the Cho'Gath here. Does not have another E stun, but is going to lose the first blood to Cho'Gath, who has the chomp up. He's going to get taken down in the end. A real shame there. A lot of sick moves coming out from Zalo, but I'm Ugly and Proud knows his win condition, and he's going to use it in the end.
Yes, he does, and the win condition's name is True Damage. Mercenary True Damage on that feast, and this is where you regret not tanking Conqueror, because if you had Conqueror in that fight, you're definitely going to heal up and potentially be outside of that feast range, but unfortunately does have the grasp, and grasp better for short trades when it's up, goes all the way in, and it looks pretty promising at the start, but Cho'Gath ticks over to level 6, and that feast is just so dominant.
Promising Turtle. Yeah, Turtle is looking for it, but unfortunately, Corki's going to get caught up by Ventrilogo's cage. Ventrilogo's going to back for the health of Zac is nearby in case something happens. So is Thresh as well, as the advantage is actually getting pushed very heavily in Ash's favor there, going up almost by 20 farm.
Yeah, actually really surprised to see that. We haven't been watching bot lane a whole lot, as there's been some action, in top lane and in the mid lane here, but really surprised Caitlyn with the highest base range, in the game here. Despite Ashe having poke on that W, really has set the Caitlyn very far behind. It was not something you expect from a Caitlyn. So
yeah, but meanwhile the pressure
trading happens top here. But
yeah, a little bit of a trade happening top, but meanwhile down in the bot lane the pressure was on. Especially for Turtle Legs eggs, they had priority over that dragon pit, and they used it to their advantage. They ended up getting the first Infernal Drake, but we will not see that as a soul, with Cloud Drake coming up next as well. Now looking this top lane, Zalo's really taking the brood of it as Cho'Gath has passed the early levels, has his win condition. In fact, even has an early Bramble Vest solely to deal with this Camille and the Ashe later on as well. A solid item for him overall, but he's going to take a few tower shots. He's going to flash back in. He's going to get the chomp right on top of Camille. Once again, this man knows his win condition, and he's going to use it.
I'm Ugly and Proud, likes big meals. He likes high calories. He likes to feast, Mercenary. That is the win condition. It's the feast. That's the second one. He is 2-0-0. This is going to be a hard game for Zalo from here on out. I'm Ugly and Proud to set himself up for a really, really nice game here. 2 kills, 20 CS, wave pushing into turret, no TP on Camille. And as you mentioned, he knows his win condition. And as I said, it is to feast on this Camille.
Definitely as well. And the more threatening thing is that Cho'Gath has landed multiple grass procs, and both those chomps will increase his max health, especially when it's on top of a champion. So he's already looking pretty nasty right now with his health. But meanwhile in the bot lane, we're looking at maybe a possibly nasty gank as Zac is waiting in the wings here. He does not have level 6 though. He is under leveled compared to his competitors. He's under 10 farm, but here comes the Asher laying on top. The Flay gonna go through on top of the Camille. Zac's gonna dive in the end. The Thresh ulti will try to keep them in there, but one solid flash from Caitlyn is going to do it for there. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the fight continues. I'm Ugly and Proud up 2 levels on Zalo, but he's still going in. He is going to get him out in time as he realized it might be a bit of a mistake in the end. Ooh, but meanwhile, the Q is going to land right on top of Golf. He's going to take some solid damage in the end. The Ashe getting focused by the tower is going to get shut down by Zac is in the back line. Is going to be able to get away. Ooh, the passive gets burned on top of Zac. It's going to be Caitlyn slowly chewing it out. Thresh is coming around for some possible support. Going to land the hook on top of Caitlyn. Does not have the flash up, and unfortunately, Real Fort is gonna get shut down. That's a 2-0 kill going over to Golf here.
Oh no, Mercenary. It's disaster for Unilab here as Ugly and Proud eats him again. It's the third one. Follow, stop.
Oh, but here comes Ventriloquio diving in the back line with a flash and getting a double kill along with a shutdown. This man was a beast in the mid lane as we saw him a few matches before, but he is flexing a little bit coming down here. But he's going to lose a tower planning over to the Corki here along with pressure up there. But yeah, a lot of kills going straight over to Suny here as they get the chomp on the Camille once again. And unfortunately, the double kill mistake happening down there in the bot lane. The Ashe did not notice the tower in time.
Mercenary, we got two Smurfs in this game. We got I'm Ugly and Proud in top lane. We got Ventriloquio in mid lane. They're smurfing this game. I don't even want to talk. I'm going to say 3 words about that tower dive. It was bad. And then we're going to talk about Ventriloquio and I'm Ugly and Proud absolutely smurfing on their opponents here. Ventriloquio doing a nice job there to get his team on the board with that double kill. And that's going to be huge for this Victor to continue the scaling. They're going to need him to be strong in team fights because they have a weak top laner here and a bot lane that's ahead 40 CS, but did make a big mistake there, taking multiple turret shots on that Ashe, allowing this Caitlyn a avenue back in. Have the arrow down.
Yeah, the arrow's going to land on top of Goff. Goff is going to get hooked as well. The ulti's going to pop through. He has no flash, and Pepsi of Time is going to take him down for an extra kill and assist going over to below average. A solid play overall in the end there. But meanwhile on the top lane, here comes Corki diving in on top of Zalo and it's going to shut him down. You don't need the feast for that one. And it's just a quick cleanup there. Meanwhile, we're going to have a bit of a beating up fight in the mid lane right now as below average is going to come up on top of Turtle Legs Eggs. Real Ford does not have his passive up. He's going to be dropping low. Turtle Legs Eggs is going to get the shutdown on him, but he's being chased currently by Ventriloquio, who's going to pick up another kill from the mid lane. And meanwhile, in the top lane, the mid and top duo is going to shove it down that tower. And there's just plays across the map here for both teams.
A little bit of chaos going on here, Mercenary. We'll say to Zalo, finally not the main course, just a side dish there as not feasted this time, just hands over a kill to Wilhelms as he's dove. But Turtles Lay Eggs a little bit over aggressive, knowing his mid laner had roamed up to top and tried to put some vision in the jungle of Unilab here. And below average, MLG doing a nice job moving up here and absolutely punishing him. He does pick up a kill on Reef 4, but he loses a ton of tempo here, and it will result in a kill for Ventriloquio and the Dragon going over to Unilab, which is something that will be helpful as it slows down any potential Ocean Soul for either side here. Or sorry, Dragon Soul.
Speaking of vision, Ventriloquio is getting caught off guard. Wilhelm is taking solid damage, going to screw up the flash, and is going to get shut down by Ventriloquio, who gets down in the end. That's a shame. That's a real shame, man. You hate it when it happens, when the flash doesn't go over the wall. And he ended up getting slowed and trapped in the cage as well, which I barely even saw there. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Zalo getting out of the way of I'm Ugly and Proud, who is once again still up 2 levels on the Camille top lane, who is down by 0 and 4.
Yeah, top lane's still going to be rough, but yeah, it's just a feels bad moment. You know, it happens to everyone, fail flashing the wall. Definitely less of a mistake than something like a bad tower dive, but we'll hold on here. Yeah, I think it's just going to flash the wall and get out.
You did indeed. Yeah, Corki did TP up top to try to support, but you couldn't really, you can't get a Cho'Gath over the wall without any extra support in the end.
Yeah, not at all. Will cost us flash, but nothing more. And yeah, as you mentioned, just fail flash are unfortunate. You try to laugh him off. You know, Impact did it last weekend on his Mordekaiser, so we can always laugh. The arrow comes down here. Yeah, meanwhile, Humming's going to get shot down by the arrow from Pepsi of Time, who's just going to focus that down and chew it out. Goff is meanwhile being chased by 3 members, and Ventriloquio is going to pick up that kill as well. Wow,
meanwhile, the TP down in bot lane as things are going to happen over there. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, mid tower is gone, and an extra charge from Shelly on top of that second tier is going to spell some danger for Real 4. He does not have his passive up, but does have his flash. He's going to pop over the wall there. It's going to stay safe. Meanwhile, other members are popping around nearby. Below average getting caught by the vision ward there is going to have to back up. Ventriloquio is nearby for any support. No fight's going to happen, but honestly, while some kills were definitely traded down there in the bot lane, the pushing potential was there in the end for Suny.
Yeah, just the pressure for Suny. I think a lot of these fights going, pretty even, as you mentioned. Kill score here, 7-7, but building up to about a 2.5K gold lead here, and you can see tier 2 turret now down in mid lane, which is a little unfortunate because I think again Ventrilogo has played very very well. Had a nice TP there to ensure the double kill onto this bot lane once again. But has just been kind of punished for his roams, or at least being forced to roam, potentially by some of the mistakes of people around him or his own team, but has kind of been punished despite being 5-0 here on the Victor. Now has both his turrets down in mid lane, so a lot of macro pressure coming out here from the side of Suny, but definitely still close enough for Uni to bring it back.
Yeah, but meanwhile, in the top lane right now, Zalo does not see I'm Ugly and Proud coming around the corner. Just in time, gets the E off, but it doesn't matter. The knockup's going to land is there. The flash coming out for any sort of support. The W is also going to possibly get in here as well, threatening it. The Q is going to land as well. I'm Ugly and Proud doesn't care about a tower. He just wants to feast. He takes the chom and he's going to get the shutdown now. Ventrilogo instead is going to get the reverse shutdown on top of I'm Ugly and Proud. Ventrilogo is just all over the map today.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and I think a little bit overzealous there from Ugly and Proud. As we mentioned, he just wants to eat. He just wants to feast. But Ventrilogo has both of his towers down. Ugly and Proud, which means the waves are going to be pushing in deep, which means he gets to roam for free because Wilhelms really can't be that high up the map, and he's diving a tier 2 turret. It's a pretty free roam there from Ventrilogo, and really not worth because he's going to pick up a shutdown onto I'm Ugly and Proud. He's 6-0 now, whereas Zalo's 0-5, definitely not going to get the same amount of gold for taking down Zalo as you do for taking down Ugly and Proud. So just a little bit overzealous from our hungry boy here in the top lane.
Yes, but meanwhile, it looks like Turtles is going to be picking up that Rift Herald once again. That first Rift Herald took down 2 mid-tier towers. You might see that being dropped bot or top lane to possibly push some pressure over there. Meanwhile, we do have the Drake coming up in about 40 seconds here. It's going to be for the Ocean Soul. This is an amazing soul for both teams, honestly. It would keep all the squishy members alive, especially for over on the side of Uni, but it would make I'm Ugly and Proud just that much more terrifying and would give Humming a whole lot more pressure for healing in that bot lane. Meanwhile, again, everyone knows they're going to fight over this, and they are pushing the pressure where they can.
And make no mistake, Ocean Soul, the best soul in the game. I will not take arguments for the other souls. Okay, I lied. There are some very specific exceptions when maybe Infernal or Mountain Soul are better, but I think in about 99% of scenarios, Ocean Soul, absolutely the best soul in the game and pretty much a game-winning condition. So it will be a highly contested Draker. As you can see, all four members of Suny here. I believe 4 members of Uni as well, with the Corky joining. So now 5 members of Suny all hovering around this third Drake.
And they know they have the pressure, and they're going to be going straight for this Draker now. Meanwhile, Zal has the TP up, but is trapped up in the top lane. Currently, they have the full pressure. I'm Ugly and Proud pushing and flexing his tanky muscles to keep them away. It's going to be a completely uncontested Drake there in the end. They might be looking for the chase. If anyone's caught on the end, I'm Ugly and Proud diving straight into enemy territory. But here comes Corky dropping the ulti through. Ventrilogo popping the ulti to try to stay alive, and it's going to pop his flash as well. All members are staying alive, but a little bit bruised up here for the side of Unilab as the pressure is being put on, and that rift, yeah, I was correct. That rift is getting dropped down in the mid lane, and without anyone to stop it, it's going to get that first one. Meanwhile, Wilhelm is going to pick up the below average Thresh here. That's not a joke, that's just his name. And they're going to get the mid tower as well. Meanwhile, Ventrilogo is getting targeted by Goff and is going to be forced back. Ash is just going to get chewed out by I'm Ugly and Proud, getting another feast stack off there in the end. And they're going to get this inhib and probably back up in the end. They don't really have anyone else to worry about. That bot lane duo who had a lot of pressure to force them away, and unfortunately Ventrilogo cannot do this alone. Doesn't look like they're going to leave yet, though. They're trying to trap them in the end, hiding around the corner. No one's going to die anymore. That's going to be a 2-0 for the side of Suny. They're going to get that inhib. They're going to get that tower. And now they're looking for this Baron coming up in about 30 seconds here.
Nicely done from Suny. I actually do like the plays coming out from Unilab. They decide to only go for some poke around that third Drake. They allow Zalo to stay in top lane there and take that turret, take a couple waves of farm, and say we're gonna trade these objectives here. But they do get a little overzealous in their defense of their inhibitor turret. I think below average might have had his aftershock on cooldown when he landed that hook. Thought he was tankier than he was, and just went down to Wilhelm's, and that just allowed a kind of a free range for Suny Plattsburgh here, and they dive under turret, get a couple kills, and are able to come away with the inhibitor. We'll see if they're able to use the pressure from this inhib being down to take some objectives across the map. It is only 20 minutes into the game here. Inhib down is hard to clear at this point, but Victor, a very good wave clear champion, does give him some extra gold to farm there. And if they can't really take advantage of objectives, getting fourth Drake, getting Baron, it may just give some extra gold to the pockets of this Victor. So we'll see how they do play around the pressure that they now have.
Meanwhile, Zalo finally matching the level difference up in the top lane, was able to get a lot of extra farm, and especially taking down that top tower as well, getting some extra gold and XP in the end. Meanwhile, the pressure is being held on top of this Baron from Suny. They have it circulating around, and below average is going to be trying to go ahead and clear that up. But here comes GGLeagues with Humping nearby to just make sure that stays absolute. They want control of this Baron, for it is the only objective up for about 2 minutes here. Fresh is nearby. It's not going to catch that Soraka, but I don't think you would want to in the end there, especially with 3 members just around the corner. Yeah, but everyone's going to play it safe. The pressure is being held right now. Currently, I'm Ugly and Proud has the TP up and is holding down the bot lane. Ventrilogo also has the TP and is going to be trying to keep that pressure away from I'm Ugly and Proud. Maybe pick up another kill. I mean, look at that solid damage on a Cho'Gath from coming out from a Victor. It's absolutely terrifying. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, a lot of pings coming out there to push that pressure. It's only Zalo up there who is 0 and 5 right now. So they're going to go ahead and flex their muscles up in that top lane, going to get that last upper outer turret. Now the only turrets left for the outer rim are going to be down in the bot lane, which has not gotten a lot of focus actually.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing here, Mercenaries, the Victor's gone for a Void Staff second item here, and I gotta say I'm very surprised. And oh, hold on, so we have an engage here.
Yeah, speaking of surprise, Goth and LMG as well. Goth is gonna take down LMG there in the end, and that's all the pressure they need. TP coming in. Unfortunately, no one's surrounding Baron. You have I'm Ugly and Proud TPing in to make sure this is secured. The Asher might come in to try to snipe this away, but with I'm Ugly and Proud blocking the base perfectly there, unfortunately that may not be the case. Going down to a couple thousand, the smite's gonna come through, and that is an uncontested Baron and an extra kill going to the pockets of Suny.
Yeah, I mean, it's free as it can get. They get a nice pick there onto below average. We mentioned Ventrilogo this whole game sitting at 6-0, but this Corki is extremely strong on 2 items here. Monamune has upgraded into Muramana, does have his Triforce finished, and has Sword Shoes, so extremely strong. And all of the autos here coming out from Corki, not respected by below average. He just gets blown up. But as we were mentioning before they went to Baron, very surprised with this Void Staff on Victor. If you look across, at the build pass from a lot of these members of Suny, really not a lot of magic resist. I mean, Corki hasn't built any. The Cho'Gath, who's your main who's your main tank there, hasn't built any magic resist. And the Void Staff not really going to be cutting through anything that you would expect it to be. Whereas could have itemized into some more damage, potentially burst these carries out. But either way, the Corki using his farm advantage and his strength to take out below average. They take the Baron, and they've gotten up to Soul Point now with this Dragon. We'll see if UD Labs can hold on, but they're going to be in trouble here with this Baron push.
Definitely indeed. They got the Drake, and now they're going trade complete. Corki's going to pop the ulti in the end, possibly scared of a possible push here coming out here from the side of Unilab, but they don't really have any pressure to speak of. The Baron is gone, the Drake is gone. They're going to be looking to pressure as well. Here comes the Asher landing on top of Ugly and Proud. Zalo diving in is going to take some solid damage, going to pop the ulti on top of GGLeagues eggs, but it's not going to hold it in the Pepsi of time, trying to chew out one of the members there. It's going to die in the end. The flash is popping over the wall. It's going to catch multiple members here in the end. The Zac passive is going to get popped below average, trying to keep that absolutely terrifying Cho'Gath away from them, and that is going to be almost completely clean sweep. Multiple GGs going through, and
Yeah,
I
theft.
I think we had a surrender.
Yeah, well, looks like we had a surrender. I mean, the game was over. TP coming back in. No way that with those recall timers, Unilab was going to be able to get up in time to defend their Nexus. But it's interesting to see that actual FF come in. I don't think I've seen that one before.
I don't I
Um,
I would have to check the rule book. I don't know if that's allowed in the end, but I mean, like, hey, they knew they were gonna lose, and they're gonna cut their losses at the end, and probably take some more time to train.
Yeah, potentially there, but yeah, very nice game played out by Suny Plattsburgh there. A little unfortunate on the base defense by Unilab. I think Pepsi of Time actually flashed over the wall to try to pick up a kill there, and just kind of flashed into I'm Ugly and Proud, who just turned around and
Oh
for
yeah.
about his fourth or fifth feast of the game, and that pretty much ended their ability to hold the base as Ventriligo forced back four people down there, and that sort of triggered the FF there from the side of Unilab, and that will be the game. A nicely snowballed win, taking advantage of pressure on that top lane, put out by I'm Ugly and Proud from SUNY Plattsburgh.
Definitely indeed. GG to both teams, and GG to you guys for tuning in here tonight for this Illinois Division B match. Thank you guys so much for watching us here. And if you want to check out what's going to be streaming next, I'll give you a little bit of a preview here in just a second. But if you want to know what's going to be streamed next and you want to take any votes on anything, make sure you check out us at any of our social media in the panels below. Also, you can check us out at GG Leagues as well. But if you want to prove us wrong, you want to be a Cho'Gath bigger than the size of the enemy base, then make sure you go to ggleagues.com to see if you have a team in your area. And if you don't, talk to any of our admins, and we would be down to help you set up a team. And I would love to scream your guys' names as you just completely devour the enemy team. But tomorrow we have an Overwatch match coming out on one of our channels here. And we also have another match coming out between Cleveland State and the UHD Gators A. But once again, my name is Mercenary. Joining me again will be DJ, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night.